Hollywood and technology are clashing in court. A new DVD player that mutes dialogue and cuts out movie scenes has Hollywood's major studios up in arms. But some parents see benefits to leaving the sex and the violence on the cutting room floor. With this much violence, parents may hesitate before renting Black Hawk Down for their kids. But beginning as early as this month, retailers like Walmart and Kmart will start selling RCA's latest in DVD technology, a player that filters out vulgar language, graphic violence, and sex.
You just go to the remote control and look on your TV screen and you make the settings the way that you want them.
In a time where kids are bombarded by marketing for Hollywood's biggest films, Bill Aho, the CEO of ClearPlay, the company which developed the technology, says he sees great demand for the filters.
I think it gives more tools to families, and particularly to parents. They may choose whether to use them or whether not to use them, and really ClearPlay is a vehicle of choice, but it's another tool to help you to be a more responsible parent.
But is Austin Powers really Austin Powers without sex?
I wanna humpalo.
And is the movie Traffic the same without the drug use scenes?
Let's do some more.
Hollywood says no.
I have a real problem with somebody else coming in and altering my film, and perhaps altering it in such a way that completely subverts the meaning of the film in the first place.
Steven Soderbergh, along with the Directors Guild of America, the 7 major Hollywood studios, and a host of other parties are suing ClearPlay and companies like it.
Somebody taking one of our films, editing it, presenting it to the public, and making money is a violation of copyright, in my opinion.
The lawsuit is pending, but so far, ClearPlay has not been deterred.
We haven't let it slow us down at all. We are very confident in our legal position.
ClearPlay is not the only technology available to enforce parental controls. Televisions sold since 2000 contain the V-chip, which allows parents to black out certain programs. And some TVs also have Kid Pass. That's a timer that allows parents to set a limit on how much their kids can watch.
Well, you know, I'm just sitting here thinking, let's say I'm a teenager. Mom and Dad, they want to take out certain scenes from my movies. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on the web and download the movie and see the whole darn thing.
Well, yeah, they certainly can't. They can't control that. But if this is something, if your parents go and rent it, or even if you go rent it and you have a discussion with your parents, you can put it in the DVD player and filter out those scenes.
I have to ask you another question, because it seems to me that there's something that I was really thinking about as I watched your piece, JJ, which is Steven Soderbergh saying, I don't think anybody has the right to edit my movie and then it's no longer my movie. But if you're just selling someone the player that allows an individual to say, I want to take out a scene, I think Steven's kind of missing the mark there, because this company is not altering the movies. They're just saying, hey, Kathleen, here's something you could use to alter this movie that you're watching in the privacy of your own home. I'm not selling it to anybody. How does that violate copyright?
Right. Well, it's not just Steven Soderbergh. It's a host of players in Hollywood. But that's what ClearPlay says. They feel very confident in their position right now, because they say, we are not altering the film. We're providing some technology to mute out some parts of the film. And actually, if you look at movies that are on TV or movies that go on airplanes, those are changed as well.
Exactly.
But what the director
But you would buy one of these, right? Right away. It sounds like you would think it's a good idea.
I think it is, particularly not for teenager series so much, but I think there's lots of movies like maybe a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old could watch if some of the violence were taken out. I really object to having like gratuitous sex scenes where you just throw in a man and a woman making love or something, and I don't want my teenage daughter to have that. You know, so maybe I would. You know how I am, though. I barely get my taxes filed on time. So the thought of like having to watch a movie and filter out scenes, I don't know if I could get that far.
Too much time.
Yeah. JJ, thanks for a great piece. Very interesting.